Welcome to the 180 podcast, brought to you by BTFU. Another big week. We're going to announce the winner of the Roosters jersey. We've got another jersey giveaway. It's a different team, which we'll announce a little later on. And we've also got a very, very special guest. He has featured prominently on this podcast, and he is here live. Let's start with the check-in, though, with Reni Matua. Reni.
Braith.
Mate, now, you're actually doing all right at the moment. I've got to give you credit.
Mate, I am going well. You know, as you know, we've been training pretty hard, but I'm a little bit upset, Braith.
Why, mate?
Mate, I had big plans for summer.
Yeah.
And then, lo and behold, I come across Daily Mail on the weekend, and my wingman, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's on. So on behalf of the BTFU family and the 180
you look
podcast,
a bit nervous. Are you all right?
we just want to congratulate you on
Yeah. Oh, you fuckwits,
on the new relationship.
Thanks,
so
mate.
he's officially off the market.
Yeah.
I've got a stat for you, though. They say you're 72% more likely to pick up a girl in Coogee now. So, guys, there's some good news.
I might get married again and have more kids. You're invited to the wedding too. It's next week, all right? So, do you want me to ask you what you've been doing then?
No, we won't.
So you want to throw shade over here? You've gone there.
Yeah, I've gone there.
Yeah.
What,
Do you want me to fire back?
No, don't fire back.
Okay.
Look, we're just happy for
I'll
you,
hold
mate.
my semi-automatic.
I need a new
Do you though?
I need a
Do you
new
though?
wingman.
Do you?
Let's not go there, bro.
Okay, all right. You wanted to go there.
No,
we can
let's
all go
leave
there,
it. Let's
ladies
leave
and
it.
gentlemen. All right. No, I'm doing well. Thanks for that.
Mate, we're proud of you, mate.
What are you fucking proud of? You've got a girlfriend? You fucking loser. Like it's big news.
Well, it didn't make me.
Hey, hang on a second. How do the paparazzi always know where you are too? We hang out a lot.
Let me tell you something.
We hang out a lot. They never take shots of you and
I
I.
don't give a fuck about you. Mate. Now, you know what? Like, because it was in the, when was it? It was in the Telegraph. And then I took my mum and the girls to Father's Day lunch. And then I walked out and there was just cameras everywhere. So now they're on my fucking tail, the pricks. I don't like it. So now when you do this, it's great because now they're going to be on my tail even more.
Oh,
Who knows? This might even be in the Daily Mail. So thanks for that.
Let's hope.
How have you been, though?
I've been good, Braith. I've been really good, bud. 2 weeks in, training pretty hard, feeling good.
Lost weight or?
Lost 4, still 4. I'm just
Fat or
playing.
muscle? You got.
I don't know yet. It's a bit too early to call.
So you're on the way to looking like The Rock.
Yeah, I'm a pebble at the moment.
That's your new nickname, Pebbles.
Pebbles, yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's introduce our guest, and it is the one and only Brent Read. Reedy.
It's Reedy.
Look, I'd love to say it's great to be here, Braith,
Yeah.
but I fear what's coming. First of all, I want to congratulate you and say how happy I am for you. You found love again. It's great to hear that.
Yes,
mate, I think we're
pile-on.
all concerned about you. It's really,
This is a pile-on.
really happy for you, mate.
I'm
Great.
damaged goods, Reedy. I'm damaged goods.
Aren't we all?
Are we all? Yeah, correct.
I had 3.5 years off, so I'm pretty.
Well, that's a good stint.
I've
That's a good
reinvented
stint.
myself. I
I
know what I
You've
want
been
in
a
life.
lot calmer in the green room too at 360, I've got to say.
There you go. I wonder why.
A bit lighter on his feet.
How are you feeling, Reedy? How you
Mate,
going?
I'm okay.
I want
I'm
to check.
okay.
I want to check in with you.
Why is that over the Roosters, I suspect?
Mate, calm down. We're not there yet.
No, I'm going good. It's finals time.
Yeah.
Years, we're a month away from the season being over. We're in the homeward stretch, man.
It's been a big year, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been exciting. It's been a good year, yeah.
You enjoyed the season. Any? What's been the standout for you this year?
Standout.
I suppose you could say from a football perspective, but even a journalistic approach.
Oh, well, there's been the big stories, obviously, earlier in the year with Galvin, Dylan Brown, all those big stories earlier in the year. That was sort of the journalistic highlight, I guess. But from a footy standpoint, I'm a Broncos man from way back. Went to their first ever game.
Yeah.
So to see them back in the finals and Reece Walsh playing like he is, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. He's playing some good footy, isn't
Very
he?
good.
All right, let's get straight to it now. We have a little bit of a segment on this show, and it's called the fuck up of the week, right? I've changed it this week.
Have you?
I've changed it to the fuck up of the year.
Right.
And the fuck up of the year involves you.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, exactly. But Ready, you've actually got a partner in crime here.
You do.
You don't Aspen,
Which
well.
one's
Aspen.
Lloyd? Which one's
I'm
Lloyd?
Lloyd. He's Harry.
You're Lloyd,
He's on the
Harry.
back of the
All right.
bike.
So the bike's gone. You're not going to Aspen anymore. There's no.
I'm hoping to go to Aspen any spot.
You know what? You'll probably go back again by the time the season's over.
Yeah.
But let's get into that because we have had a good laugh about it all year. And I actually want to go back to when it all happened. Because I was in at Fox and my producer, because you ring Mitch Diffin, our producer, and all the journos do, and they discuss what they're going to talk about that night, and you know, and I sit and listen to all the calls, and you know, kind of take my angle, you know, and how I'm going to approach it, and Reedy and Diff comes running out, and he goes, mate, Reedy says that they should rest Sam Walker when he comes back, and I said, what the fuck did he say? And he goes, and I said, oh, that's brilliant. That's great. Like, I actually got excited about it.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. You saw the opportunity to carve me out.
Because I'm thinking, how am I going to approach that? But in all honesty, like you don't just say things like that for no reason. Like, so firstly, how did you come to that?
Yeah.
And how'd you feel when I said it was the dumbest thing I'd heard?
So there've been some whispers around the traps of people close to him were suggesting that he should have the year off if the Roosters were out of finals contention, right? And depending on when he came back, obviously I think at the time I thought he was coming back a bit later than when he actually came back. But there had been talk from people close to him that they were open to him having the rest of the year off. And I just thought, well, you know, I'll just throw it out there.
Well, it's a story. It's a big story.
You know, it's interesting. Yeah. And you know, you know what's like, Braith. You know what's like in that show, Braith. You know, sometimes you've got to have an opposing viewpoint, and I knew that would bring up opposing viewpoints. No one would agree with me, but I don't mind being a punching bag. I don't care. You know, if I'm a paid punching bag, I'm happy.
But that's what I love about
to play that role sometimes.
No, I'll give you credit, Reedy, because like you're happy to say anything. You don't get offended by anything. And that's why I am the way I am with you, right? Like I respect you a lot. I seriously do. And, you know, like we have fun, but I love the fact that you say it, like I'm going to back myself. You have your opinion and you're not, like a lot of journos get really offended and you won't talk to you for weeks. And it's like, this is what we do. You know, not everyone's going to agree. We're going to get things right. We're going to get things wrong, right? So,
but I'm at that point in my career. I'm 55, almost 56. Been doing it for 25 years. Yeah. And I reckon you get to a point in your career where you go, it doesn't matter what people say or
100%.
think. You know, I'm just going to have my opinion. I'm going to ride with it.
Yeah.
It might be right. It might be wrong. But, you know, you can't sit in the fence these days. And, you know, sometimes it affects relationship. It costs you relationships, right? But, you know, I'm comfortable with where I am in life. And I was thinking on the way in, I thought, because I thought you'd bring this up. And I thought, you know what? If it was all gone for me tomorrow, man, I've married, I've got 2 kids, you know, I'm just about own my house.
Yeah.
Like I could walk away tomorrow, go get a job in a bottle shop and spend more time with my kids.
Yeah, nice.
And I'd be happy.
Yeah. Well, I was on the bike
but
with you,
I'm
Reedy.
not saying I love what I do.
You
like
could
I love
buy a new bike.
I could buy a new bike and go to Aspen holidays.
You and Reedy can get there quicker.
Like I love my job and I love what I do. Yeah. But it's not the be all end all. It's a bit like Nico Hines. It doesn't define me. Yeah. So that was just what.
You're comparing yourself to Nico Hines.
that was just.
Does that mean when the semi-finals come, you're going to go to water?
He's going good, Nico. Get off his case.
No. We'll talk about that. I'm only having a joke.
But you know, that was one of those things I thought because people close to him would, and it's funny after that happened. Someone really close to him rung me and said, "Mate, you were spot on about that."
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's why I was on the bike.
Yeah, and Reedy was on as well.
See, this is the problem, though. I'll come to you quickly. I just wanted to say, because I did when I heard that during the day, I rang around and they told me, mate, he's not coming. He's coming back earlier than what they're suggesting, which means it's a non-event. If he was coming back later in the year, you would have been spot on. They would have thought about resting him. But
I did say depends on when he comes back and whether they're out of finals contention.
And you did say there were no chance of making the finals.
I did say I said there'd be 1 and 7.
Yep, you did, and they won the next week.
They won the next 2 weeks, I think. Mate, we don't get them all right, right?
Well, let's come to my partner in crime here.
With me. I was with you. I was with you, Reedy.
He jumped on the lemon bandwagon.
It was taken out of context, mate. I listened to the show and they'd won 1 from 7. You know, they weren't doing well at the back end of
I think they were
1 from. They weren't doing
You
great.
two are telling the story.
I think they're 1 and 5, mate.
The back end of last year, they got rid of some players. You know, he goes down and keep going,
this is the best.
You with me? And I thought if mathematically they couldn't make the finals, why would you risk an ACL when a young kid?
But it was never happening. This is what I was trying to say.
Well, this is the thing. You get all the inside information.
I tried to tell you that on the show, and you just ignored me.
Well, we got it wrong, mate. We got it wrong.
So, do you think you will come back from this, the both of you? Do you think you'll
we're
rise up?
What are you talking about?
Really?
We never left.
Is this what we call back?
When he's a podcast stars.
Well, the funny thing is now, you blokes are actually you're riding the Roosters now.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
No.
Are you riding the Roosters, Reni? I told you I'm a Broncos
They're
fan.
a dangerous team. They're
a dangerous team.
Well, you know what? Let's do Reni's fireball hot take. So we do this every week, Reedy. So Reni's fireball hot take this week is actually the Roosters. So talk about a backflip.
This is Buzz-like.
This is Olympic. This is Buzz-like.
Listen, what have they got to lose? They've just scraped into the 8. You got Sam Walker walking on water. No one need to ask they're playing well.
Yeah.
Their forwards are playing well. Like for a fan, for me, I'd be like, just go out there, have a go through the semi-finals and see where you land.
Yep.
And it'd be different within those 4 walls. They'd be saying we want to win a premiership. But from the year they had, for the start of the year, from the back end of last year right up to the semi-final point, they've got nothing to lose. They're a dangerous team.
Okay. Now, I saw Sam Walker Reedy last night. I'm not coming. We're done with the Dumb and Dumber. Well, maybe it might resurface at some point. But Sam Walker last night, he said they're extremely confident. He thinks they got the best attack, and if they play to their best ability, they'll beat anyone. Yeah. Thoughts on that?
I think they're capable of it, but I don't think it's going to happen, Braith. I mean, I made it pretty clear, I think, the top 2 sides of the teams, the only teams that can win the comp, in my view, because I think it's too hard. You know, you got to think about the path they're going to have to go down to win the grand final. They're going to have to win 4 games, all on the road, right, because they won't have a home game.
Yeah. It's
too hard against this quality of opposition in the finals. Yeah, they might have to go to Brisbane potentially.
Yeah.
Then they've got to... I can't. The top of my head, I can't.
No, I know what you're saying, right? I know what you're saying.
To do it 4 weeks in a row, because the 4th game will be the grand final.
Yeah.
For me, it's too much.
Yeah, and you know what? The odds are against them big time.
They might win a couple, though. I wouldn't. Well,
they've got the Sharks, right? But if they win, they jump. They don't play Penrith, right? They go on the other side of Penrith. So is that what you mean? They jump the Brisbane if Brisbane
play Brisbane.
I'm just thinking.
Or they play the loser of this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. They would, if Brisbane lose, obviously.
Yeah. So if Canberra lose, it's them.
Yeah.
Okay. So
then they have to go to Melbourne.
Yeah,
and win that to play
in the Pro
Canberra in the final.
Yeah, it's a big ask. It's a big ask. You know, and this is the thing when I said it last night with the Roosters is that they haven't shown us that consistency, even though they're firing. Yeah, they have what was it? They won last couple of weeks, but before that they played shit against Para.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hang on. Sam Walker went down in after 5 minutes. Yeah. They weren't on.
Look how sensitive he's got his Roosters shirt on.
They get him started.
You know I'm a Roosters fan, but I'm still
I'll ask all 3 of you a question. Take away the start of that part before Sam comes back. Have a look at their consistency since he's been back. And they have been relatively consistent.
Relatively consistent.
Yeah,
they've still had moments where they've been poor, or not poor, but not up to the standard that's required to win 4 games in the final series.
You've always said it, Braith. It's a completion rate, right? They've
completion rate
everywhere.
If they complete, I agree with Sam. It's hard to say they're as good as the Raiders at their best, Melbourne and Brisbane right now. I think they're very close if they're not.
Yeah.
But their completion rate's their Achilles heel. They seem to have overcome that. Para, they were disgraceful, but they obviously. And I said Sam Walker went down, but they were still crap. And that's a problem. They got young halves and they don't have backup either. So if something does happen to Sam, they can't do what Melbourne do. You know what I mean? Like they can't do what probably
a little bit of inexperience in their forward pack, like Nafahu White, Siwa Wong. When you're in the meat grinder of semi-final footy and you got to back it up for 4 weeks, that's where it gets really, really tough.
You're not Wong with that.
Man, he's a player that Nafahu White.
Hasn't he come along?
I spoke to him this week.
Oh, you did?
He's a lovely young bloke.
Yeah.
Really well spoken, really intelligent.
Nice.
Good kid.
Must be Sam Wine-side.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's get to the Roosters jersey now. The announcement of the winner for the game against the Bunnies. Picked the score 36-6. And this guy picked it. He got it exactly right. There was only one winner. Here it is here. It is the last time we'll give a Roosters jersey away this year. And the winner is James Skiba. So it's James, Skiba. Get in contact with us. We'll get in contact with you. We'll send you the jersey. But we've also got some exciting news for this week. Reni Matua has finally did something for this podcast. He has sourced a Bulldogs jersey for this week's game.
It was tough.
It was tough.
It was tough.
How'd you get it, may I ask?
Well, our Samoan Italian, Felici Ciraldo, he came through with the goods,
Freddie
mate.
Ciraldo.
Freddie
some stories
Ciraldo.
about
Freddie.
Mate, our our water boy, he's come through with the goods. He's got a jersey signed. I was meant to pick it up on Monday, and I forgot.
And, surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. Rennie forgot to pick it up.
But there it is, one there.
Okay.
I was going to pick it up today, but they're flying to Melbourne, so we'll have it.
So thank you to the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Thank you to Fred Ciraldo. We have a Bulldogs jersey for not only you Bulldogs fans, but everyone else who watches the 180 podcast, brought to you by BTFU. Make sure that you tag us. Put your score, pick the score against the Melbourne Storm on the Instagram, on YouTube. You must be subscribed and you can win by either of those ways. So it is on again this week. All right, let's get to the next thing. Now it's the blow-up of the week. I'll start with you here, Reedy. We've got a blow-up of the week that we have. No, I've got the topic for you. So you don't need to sit there and start thinking. Relax. And it's all around Nico Hines, mate. So and it's not about his play because he played brilliant. Great. It was his best game of the year, and it's good to see him. And he said it the other day. Like, I know I'm going a bit off topic here because this isn't what the blow up, but he said the other day he wasn't fit heading into last year's finals, and he's very much a confidence player. I think he said that himself. This is perfect for him heading into the finals and for the Sharks. We'll get to that a bit later, but this is about the hip drop. And, you know, I suppose the speculation around it, the controversy around it, the reaction. How did you see it, this whole thing, Reedy?
Well, I think the major thing, Braith, is the end result was the right result. How we got there is the controversial part, and I'm sure it's going to come back to haunt the game in years to come because it's unprecedented. It's never happened, and it was bizarre how it happened, that one club would come or jump so actively to help another club out, which... You know, imagine if it was, everyone keeps saying this, imagine if it was South and the Roosters, would they be so keen to help each other out? So,
they just wouldn't.
Well, they wouldn't. Yeah. Well, I think that's the issue the NRL is going to face down the track, because you're probably going to have occasions when players are misdiagnosed, there's suspensions as a result of that. You can't retrospectively go back and change the suspension. So that's the issue. I think the important thing is we arrived at the right destination, right? Yeah. Because I think everyone agreed that wasn't a grade 2 and shouldn't have been a grade 2.
Reedy, just one thing I've noticed, and this is again working in at Fox and talking to a lot of people in with power, is that a lot of the CEOs of the clubs aren't happy with this. Like this is something that just because the Bulldogs and the Sharks get along, and they sent the doctor's report to Buzz and got that done. There's a lot of other CEOs, and I've spoken to two of them, who just weren't happy with this at all, and they thought there should have been a judicial process, and they should have had to provide that doctor's information in the judiciary. And there's even though we landed, again, it's like when you're in a court of law, sometimes you got to put the actual result aside, and there's a due process, right? Yeah. And they've skipped all of that, which brings it to a grey area. But just quickly, have you heard anything around how club officials have responded to this?
There's no doubt there's club officials out there who aren't happy about it. No doubt at all. Like you said, Braith, I've spoken to CEOs who aren't happy about it because, again, as I said, it opens up this can of worms. And the next time a player gets suspended and a week later it turns out the bloke wasn't injured as badly, they've got every right to throw their hands in the air and go, well, hold on, you need to review the charge and review the suspension that our player got. So there's no doubt there's concern in clubland about it.
So the severity of the injury determines
that's
the suspension.
Always been the case.
Okay.
It's not it doesn't determine it,
but
it plays a role.
It plays a role in it. Okay, so if Marcelo Montoya has a history of ankle problems, right, and I agree with it, then that's a real bad grey area that you're bringing in, right? With these doctors giving reports.
Well, he's still one thing that has been mentioned. He's still missing this week's game.
Yeah,
and he still could miss the week after. He may not play again this year. Still, it's just that it wasn't as severe, or it's.
I just don't think it was a hip drop.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah, it was a cover tackle. So if he's reaching, and he's trying to cover tackle, you're not going to have the opportunity to keep your legs.
I agree.
Right? Yeah. So if it's body on body, you got to keep your legs.
Yeah. It was nothing like,
Jamie Humphries.
I mean, Crawls, I love him, respect him, and I'll give him a rap all the time with his stuff. But he tried to compare him last night. I said, mate, you can't compare. Like, that was a bad hip drop. And you like you said, Nico was trying to make a cover tackle, and he was sort of getting him from the side, ends up on the other side. It wasn't a real hip drop in my eyes. It was just unfortunate.
I don't think a lot of people would have thrown their hands up there if he wasn't even charged. Just because I'm a bit like you guys. I don't think it wasn't your traditional hip drop.
Yep.
You know, it was just unlucky. That was an unlucky one.
I've got an interesting one, and don't get the shits, Bulldogs fans. I don't need this in my life.
Is this when you're a Roosters? You got your Roosters cap on all of a sudden because you flip them.
So this, Reedy, that's when you play first grade. So
Okay. I should have brought in my Brisbane United jersey.
Brisbane United or Central Coast Soccer Team, whatever you play for. No, but honestly, this is something that I thought about.
It's on fire today.
If I'm Gus and I'm the Bulldogs, because they were so friendly with the Sharks all of a sudden and given this medical certificate, if I'm like the hierarchy at the Bulldogs, would I rather play the Sharks in the finals or would I rather play the Roosters in the finals? Now, I love a conspiracy theory, but I just got me thinking, would they have been as friendly if it was the other way around? And because I know, and this is no disrespect to the Sharks, I genuinely think that the Roosters are better chance of going further.
I should have worn a tinfoil hat today.
I thought the exact same thing straight away. And not as an East supporter, just genuinely, if you looked at it and look at mathematically in the odds, they're shorter.
And then, there's a bit of history there with Gus and the Roosters and vice versa and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I've helped players out in the past.
So have I.
In the judicial process, I just think Ciro's a good bloke and want to help him out.
Okay.
Well,
I think this is purely because the relationship's so close, particularly at the senior level, at the chairman level. So, I'm not that cynical, Braith. I don't think that would have come into consideration.
No, you're not cynical.
No, not at all.
All right, let's get to the next one. It is the play of the week, which leads us to the Cronulla Sharks, and this is, giving them credit for like their performance against the Bulldogs. However which way you look at the Bulldogs' performance, the Sharks were great, and it was probably their best performance of the year. And we've said it a few times on the podcast. I've said it on 360. The big question mark for them is, can they deliver at finals time? They always seem to be in the same position. They always seem to be, so consistent and strong throughout the year, but lacking that X factor and delivering under pressure. And this is, I suppose the question is, how good was their performance on the weekend? And
it was great.
Does it change your mind on them heading into the finals
I've
this
still
year?
got question marks over Sharks Braith, I respectfully see them as a team full of B+, A- players, to use Dogs,
Bulldogs analogy.
Bulldogs analogy last night.
He had Wayne
He had Robbo twice on the list. Did you see that?
Did he?
He got him in different gradings.
Oh, doggy. Did you see him barking last night?
I did see him barking.
So can you give me a bark? And he went,
So, look, they're a solid team across the park. It was confusing for me. I've always wondered what's the missing link with the Sharks, and I think what they've figured out now is that Brayley's the key. They were getting the ball to Nico or getting it to Trindle. They were missing that middle third of the field. And I think if they stick with Brayley and just say, mate, if you see an opportunity, all bets are off. Everyone just jump on board. They're a far better team. So for me, it's the 9 because I couldn't put my finger on it for the last 3 years. They've had no injuries during the Origin period. They had they might have had 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And then they had no players picked in Origin and they were still losing games. But I think the more that Brayley runs the ball, the more dangerous they are.
what about
I've got a question.
Yep.
What about if you had someone like a Jonah Pezzett at 7, who's an actual game controller, I'm just using him as an example, and you had Nico play 5'8", which is, in my belief, and I think a lot of people's belief, he's a genuine 5'8". He's not a 7.
Well, I'll start and I'll come to Reedy because he'd know a bit of info on this, but I just think that they've signed on long-term deals, both Trindle and Hynes. So as much as we can sit here and talk about, that, it ain't going to happen. It just isn't, Trindle signed earlier this year, was it? On big money, 800 or something, wasn't it?
Yep.
So what have you heard around those circles with that? That's not going to happen.
Well, I think Fitz is committed to him, obviously. I think Nico's always the key for this team for me. I mean, if Nico can have a big final series, they can do some damage. But if he doesn't, there's a reason you pay a bloke $1 million a year.
Yeah.
That's to win your games in September. And Nico hasn't shown he can do that yet. And I know people, when we talk about Nico, it gets very emotional, right? It's like people, when you...
I feel like he makes it emotional, though.
Well, he probably does because at times it feels like, or it seems like, maybe he feels like he's the guy on the crosshairs at Cronulla if they don't perform. But that's a game, and we talk about it. When you're on $1 million, you got to win the big games. In September, you got to stand up and be the man.
I'm split on this because I'm massive on mental health. Everyone here knows that. And working on men and making sure that we look after each other and we speak our mind and get things off our chest. Like, I'm big on that. And I also think that there's a time and place to do that. You know what I mean? Like, find a therapist, your mates, and communicate that and deal with it, because all of us go through shit. You know, all of us go through tough times. And even footy players, mate, you are under the microscope, you are under the pump, you're signing those $1 million deals, and that's your job. You know what I mean? And I think he gets it kind of intertwined, and he makes it be seen visibly, and it's good that he's, you know, an advocate for it. But, you know, I think there's a way of looking after yourself, doing what you got to do. But then when you're playing professional rugby league, it's different. You know, it's a job, it's your business. Like every other guy doing it tough as a plumber or a trader, you go to work, you got to do your work, and you got to do it properly. And just an example, I remember last week we often, and this is no discredit to him, because this is just my opinion on it. Like, he does interviews with us a lot on Fox, and we asked before the game to interview him. And I felt like there was a bit of a pushback because he just gets, I feel like he gets worried about, you know, what people are going to say and, you know, what people are thinking and feeling about him, you know. And
but no one's ever critical of him as
he's
an amazing person.
An amazing human being. This is my point.
No one's ever critical of him as a human being or a person, right? And even last year when he said that, this doesn't define me. I mean, I said, I was on the show and I said 100% agree with him.
Yeah.
And he copped a lot of flack over that. We're critical of him in big games as a footballer.
Yeah.
And that, you can't avoid that.
You can't avoid it. The second he actually accepts the criticism that comes with the job, the better he will be himself. And I went through it myself.
Yeah.
The second I went, fuck everyone. Fuck their opinions. I'm doing me. You know, I'm telling you, your life changes. Even now in my role, I don't give a shit what anyone thinks of my opinion. It's my opinion. It's my job. It's what I do. No one's always going to agree with you. Even if he plays well, people aren't always going to think he plays well or give him the raps he deserves. That's life. Yeah. You know, and that's something for Nico. But I think it would help him in this final series. It would help him moving forward in big games and big moments. Block out the noise. Fuck everyone else. Focus on yourself and your own team. That's kind of my take on it. Anyway, that was good.
You said it all, mate.
Yeah. But he's the key, he is the key for them.
Yeah.
There's no question. He is the key.
Yeah, he is. All right, let's talk about the Melbourne Storm and Bulldogs. This isn't the preview. It's more topics around it. We'll get to the preview. But some big signings for the Bulldogs. Cameron Ciraldo, their coach and head of football, Gus Gould, to have re-signed overnight till 2031. We'll stick on that for now. Reedy, what's the news here?
Well, they've been working on this for a while. This rumour was doing the rounds last week that these two guys were about to re-sign, along with Steve Crichton.
Yep.
Buzz had Crichton obviously on the weekend and mentioned that Ciraldo was about to re-sign. I mean, they're sort of a joint at the hips, Gus and Ciraldo at the moment, and sort of reinvigorating this club, and they're doing a great job of it. Gus has done an amazing job in rebuilding that roster, fixing the pathways, and Ciraldo's an elite coach now. So, I think it's a smart move by that footy club.
Yeah, so do I. I think it is a great move. Ciraldo, Reni, he's obviously proven now, and even just when you're around him, his presence, when you talk to him about footy, it's impressive. I love the guy. I think he's phenomenal. Gus.
How do you go with
Gus? Me and him get along. I'm split with Gus because I think he's a genius, right? But he gets a lot wrong that no one talks about. Yeah. And that's because Buzz he's so powerful. And Buzz jumps on it right, and people criticise him. But, I talk to people at Penrith, and they've got a very different opinion, and they were in the process of what he is now with the Dogs, right? And they won the comp after he left. And if you talk to people at Penrith, there's different opinions on Gus. Now, you look at Gus and his opinion of Galvin, right?
Yeah.
Now, there's also Gus saying that, I remember he said that, again, no disrespect, but Bryce Cartwright was going to be the best player in the world. He said that at one point. He had big raps on Matt Moylan when he did the deal there. Gus has made a lot of, it gets pushed to the side because he's so intelligent, he's so smart, he knows how to, manipulate the media. He knows how to manipulate the fans, and I love him as a league IQ is just there's none better. But you kind of gloss over the things he gets wrong because he's so good at what he does and so right so much. And he's doing a great job. I'm not trying to shit on him here. But I'm just talking this is the reality. You know, like he said that Lachlan Galvin, and I know everyone gets his shit when we talk about him, but he said he's the best talent he's ever seen. But I don't want to go down that path again. I'm just going.
Sometimes people get it wrong. You know, Reedy and I got it wrong.
Gus can come to Aspen with us.
But you know what?
We'll stick him on the bike.
Gus,
How much? I've got a question. How much? Like you might know a little
bike.
bit more inside knowledge.
You know the tricycle. The tricycle with you three. Imagine you two and Gus.
How much influence do you think he has over selection or Ciraldo? I don't know.
This is the thing that we're all intrigued about.
2031, I'm like, oh, it's a long time, Ciro, to have someone next to you.
Does he need him that long, Ciro?
Depends what his role is, right? I mean,
at some point that'll go pear-shaped, don't you think?
Yeah.
It just has that feel. Generally with Gus, things got a little pear-shaped at some point. Right?
Gordy made that point in our pod.
He did, mate. Gordy's a lot of people say, and this is, again, I'm wary that a lot of Bulldogs fans watch this, so...
But history says at some point it'll end in tears.
That's what history suggests.
Yeah. They might win a comp along the way, so they might have lots of highs. Yeah. But at some point there'll be a dip, and
I think they will. Well, even the situation at the moment, it gets you thinking. Like they've made huge calls this year. Like, and everyone's talking about has it derailed or hasn't it? Who's making those calls now? Cameron Ciraldo. Everyone thought it was Gus. Then Cameron Ciraldo said, "No, this is my decision. I'm owning this." And then you sit back now and you go, is it his decision? You know, like it makes you think because of what we've heard about Gus over the years. You know?
Yeah, but you look at Ciro as well, a young coach, you want to be able to lean on someone like Gus as well.
Of course.
You know, so, but for how long? For how long?
Yeah.
And you want to talk about, you know, their decisions. I'm not going to jump back on the Galvin train and all that. Galvin's a 6. There's no getting past that. Or the 7, sorry. You know, like for the rest of this year, that's what it is. We need to support what they got. You know, you come into the semi-finals, what were they, 4 from the last 8? Could you have an argument that their last 8 weeks has been a tougher period or they were playing tougher opposition as well? You know, Toby Sexton could have been 7 and they could have lost 5. So we don't know. I don't think that...
We only don't know because they've made the decisions they have.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, Ren, come on, mate. Look at the game on the weekend. They didn't look like scoring, mate.
They were very sideline to sideline, weren't they? Out the back.
How do they change that for this week?
Look, I think what I saw from Thursday was just hit the nail on the head. And when you've got arguably...
You're saying Jonathan Thurston, just so context, after the game on the weekend, his comments.
His comments.
Right, what was
basically, he said they were just too sideways, right? Out the back. When you got a back rower, Jacob Preston and Viliami Kikau, their job in the start of the game and the majority of the game is to give the opposition halves absolute nightmares. You give them the ball. Like Nico Hines, he's not traditionally a strong defender. I would have sent traffic at him all game. You want to eliminate his ability to attack as much as possible by sending him traffic at him.
Yeah.
Off the back of that, you get quick play the balls. I don't understand this sideline to sideline out the back movement that they were doing.
That's another thing. That has eventuated with the changing of their style, their players. With Sexton gone and Galvin at 7.
Well, he's not playing very square.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't play square.
And what about meaning?
And you know, like the key, we've said it. The key is to get the ball early to his outside man, but do it the right way. You've still got to set it up. You've still got to square the defense up, and then you've just got to zing it to them early. Yep. They're kind of not setting it up. They're not squaring the defense up, but throwing the pass still.
So they're thinking about their attack too much and going away from their defense, right?
Yeah.
Would you start reading
But
money?
again, like we're saying all this now, Reni, and you're telling me that this decision midway through the year hasn't derailed them, or to some degree.
Look, it's been a distraction.
Yeah.
You know,
everyone
I'm just over fucking talking about it, to be honest. Like,
okay, well,
it is what it is. I know what I'm saying. It's just week 1 of the semis. You know, you come in, and if Critter wants to come out and support Galvin like he did all week, all your forward pack and everyone in that fucking side support the kid and fucking go out in there and have a go for it.
Their pack's been average too, mate.
Wait, they have. Yeah. I agree.
I'll ask you a question. I want that from you.
Yeah.
If they go out in straight sets, then what do you say?
Yeah, we'll bring Sexton back. Resign him.
I think everyone's kind of trying to hold the trigger not pull it yet because there is a big chance they turn it around. But if they do go out and straight, okay, I'm going to come to you as the journo. Yeah. They go out in straight sets. What's the story?
It's a headline.
Well, the story will be that they probably pulled the wrong trigger. But I think the Galvin decision, you can't measure, but based on purely the past 6 months. This is a long-term deal with a young kid who I still think he's going to be a star. I mean, Gus may have overblown how good he is, right? But there's a lot of people in this game, a lot of respected voices who will tell you he is as talented as any player in the past 5-10 years, right? As an 18, 19-year-old.
Yep.
So that talent hasn't gone. And I think you've got to judge this in 3-4 years' time. They might win 2 comps in the next 3 or 4 years. And then you'll look back at the past 6 months and go, well, who cares?
Yep.
It was worth it. So, it's easy that we can all sit here and we all will at the end of this final series that they go out in straight sets and go, well, that was a disaster. Yeah. What were they doing? But in 3 years' time, we could all be looking back with egg in our face because maybe...
I don't think it's egg in the face, though, because I look at it like this.
But Braith, they weren't going to win a comp this year with Sexton halfback. They weren't going to win it.
You don't know
I know it. I said it in about round 2 when you asked me about it.
Is Gus in the room now?
They weren't going to win it. That spine wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough.
Do you want me to tell you what else you said that wouldn't happen that happened, or do you want me to remind you of your record this year?
Well, I got that one right.
Yeah, Well, no, you didn't get it right because Sexton isn't playing, so we don't know. But okay, I wanted to say though, Galvin to me is a superstar, superstar. I see what people see.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, and I think he's going to be a 10-year first grader, and he can play Origin and all that. I do see that in his game. But he's not a halfback.
No, but Mitch Woods is coming through.
And I've said they're going to win a comp within 3 years. This is my prediction. But I'm looking at, and I've said it to Ren before, we won one comp our whole lives, It's not easy to do. And it was the best feeling of our lives. And we had opportunities that we just missed. Like that,
they don't come around.
They're the window of comps, and they're not the powerhouse they want to be yet. They will be, I believe, like a Penrith, but they're not like a Penrith where they know they're going to be there next year.
But maybe that's obviously why they've made this play because these opportunities don't come around that often.
Yeah,
and they thought, or Cameron Ciraldo and Gus thought at some point this season, we're going really good, but we can't win the comp, so let's make a play.
Yep.
Maybe they can get us over the line.
I reckon they should have tried a different combination. I reckon they should have kept Sexton there as the 7 and put Galvin at 6 and then either Burton in the centres or Burton at fullback. I think Tracy was, at the time I suggested on this podcast, and Tracy was playing out of his skin and his forms fell away. And that's something I would have probably tried because Burton is renowned for not being an organiser, a general, and he's not vocal. So you've got 2 guys that aren't game organisers or generals that are playing next to each other. And I think if you'd balance that out with Sexton, a genuine 7, and just even tried that, at some point, you may have got a better result. Like Sexton would start. The one thing with Sexton is he squares the defence up. He's got a really good kicking game, and he took pressure off Burton.
He defends well as well.
And he defends well, And I think that's been overlooked. I do. And you look at someone like Fogarty, I don't see much difference. Like Fogarty is, he's got a fast team, great forward pack. So, but he's the same. He's not extravagant. He gets his job done. His kicking game's great. He squares the defence up and he complements his outside men. Like that's the type of player he is. And you could have done that with Sexton, looking back on it. I think they could have, but that's enough of that.
Would you start Reed?
I probably would. I think Reed's a good starter. I think he's, especially with finals. Did you say that or not?
I think he should.
No, I didn't say
someone else said that.
I definitely think he should start. Look, he gives you good line speed. He gives the energy in that middle. Yeah, he might miss a couple of tackles, but it's because he's leading with his line speed. He gives away a couple of penalties, but moving Bailey, I think, takes away your X factor of coming off the bench. You're making Bailey do all that tackling in the middle, whereas you could have Reed out there for the first 20 minutes. Get into the D and then bring Bailey in. Inject something off the bench.
I like that too, Ren. Anyway, so we'll see what happens with the Bulldogs if they play the same way they have and if they get success against Melbourne. I just want to get to Melbourne before we get to the preview, Reedy. And it's been interesting in Melbourne, hasn't it? I want to touch on something no one's really talking about too much, and it is Craig Bellamy. Bellyache, he's made some interesting decisions lately, I feel. And he looks like he's probably under pressure more than he has been before because they have been favourites all year, yet Jerome's gone down. He's had the Nelson situation. He's Pappenhausen's out this week, Jerome, and all that. But is he re-signed for next year, Bellamy?
He's done for next year.
He's done for next year.
I was going to say, Braith, maybe part of that is the fact Craig can see the windows closing.
Yeah.
Because he's only signed for next year, and there's no guarantee he's going to coach beyond that. So he may not have that many chances left to win a comp, right? This might be one of the few remaining opportunities he's got. And I think we've said it on 360. It feels like this year they've spent the whole year in second gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've got another gear because we've seen it. We've seen 20-minute periods of play where they've absolutely blown teams off the park. But they haven't done it for 80 minutes. And the worry is the past 2 weeks, they've just been off.
Yeah. They have.
And I don't know whether can you just flick a switch? I'm not sure you just
It's
can.
hard to flick a switch and then flick it without Jerome as well.
Yeah. Well, they're lucky they got Jonah, right? Which, that's the blessing they've got.
And Harry comes back in, let's not underestimate.
And Stefano comes back in.
And Howarth.
And Howarth.
They've named Howarth on the extended. I'm expecting him to play because I heard he could have played last week.
Yeah.
So, they've named Chan in the centres. Howarth will be in there. So, if you look at that, when you change all those, they've still got a good team.
Oh,
mate.
yeah.
And Jonah's been holding his gloves up really well when he's been playing, and I'm looking forward to him playing 80 minutes with Cameron there.
I just think Craig can maybe see his own mortality. The end's coming. And
another thing, Reedy, I thought about, there's a bit of pressure in Melbourne now because who takes over from Craig? I know they were a huge fan of Rolsey, and they wanted Rolsey to in the succession plan, but Rolsey's now he's gone to Para, and now he's going really well there. They will not let him go. So who is the succession plan there? And because they've waited so long now, have they missed their targets?
Well, Billy's the obvious one.
Would he do it?
I don't think. As it stands right now, I don't think he would. No.
Who is the assistant now?
It wouldn't surprise me if they've done the lash at Rolsey. Now,
I know they will.
He's on a long-term deal there.
I know they will.
And they might struggle to get him out of it, but that wouldn't surprise me. Mark Brentnell's there. Mark Brentnell and his son Aaron's the other assistant. But Billy's the obvious one.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll get in Billy's ear and try and convince him to go to take over. Whether he does it or not, that's another question.
All right. Well, that's about it, Reedy, for us.
You don't want to bring up the Roosters again, or
no, I won't. Although I will be reposting that every time they win, just so you know.
Oh well.
So every time
I haven't seen. I won't see it again. That's a good result.
Oh, there we go. He's just declared that the Sharks are going to win this week. Actually, I'll get your tips before you go because we're going to do the Unibet preview with Aaron Mace, who will step into the seat of the great man. But I'll get your tips before we go. So we've got Dogs, Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Oh, okay. Warriors, Penrith.
You know what? I'm going to take the Warriors.
I love you, mate. You're the best.
I could be back on the bike here. I could be back on the bike here.
You with me?
Yeah, I could be ready.
These two peas in a pod. Sharks, Roosters.
The Roosters will get them. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the Roosters will get them.
All right.
They got one more week in them.
All right, okay. And the big one, the Raiders taking on the Broncos.
Well, Braith, I am a Broncos man, so I will tip the Broncos everywhere publicly, but geez, I like the Raiders, man.
Okay.
They're a good team.
All right, Reedy, thanks for coming on the show, mate. You've provided us with a lot of entertainment on this podcast this year.
Looking forward to the cut-ups and the carve-ups when they appear on Instagram.
We'll carve you up, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, no worries. Always a pleasure.
Have a good one, Reedy.
Thanks, Reedy. Legend.
All right, Reedy has left the building. It's time for the Unibet preview with the Unibet specialist, Aaron Mace. Mace.
I'm happy.
Oh, look at the shirt he's got on.
Sydney City Vintage provided
Can you just talk us through the shirt before we get to the
it says
preview?
home of the Sydney Roosters. Home.
Yeah.
And 18 kilometres to home to sorry champion. What an outstanding.
Where'd you get these shirts from?
Sydney City Vintage, the Instagram.
Okay.
He's a big Roosters fan. God love him,
course
Brody.
he
Should we check in?
Hey?
Should we check in with him?
I don't know. Are we checking in with you today or
I'm happy.
what did you do on the weekend?
I had a mild celebration of the
This
Roosters.
guy, you're shocked.
Excuse me.
Don't say excuse me. Excuse me.
As I told Ren, actually, on Monday, a friendie put me into a cleanse, and it was apple cider vinegar, lemon, and salt.
I think
And can I tell you, I did set shat all day on
No one
Monday.
cares. Don't fucking talk about your
you
shit.
just dropped something.
Here we go.
Freddie.
Here we go.
You just pick Freddie back up.
Oh, mate, you are a walking rehab facility.
Don't you laugh? I saw a photo of a beer in hand. Did any?
Ice Long Black at Urban Surf. I was quite offended.
Does that
was
look like
quite
an ice long
offended.
black?
You know what? I think he's right. I think we got it wrong.
Yeah, zoom in, have a look at the
Maybe
cap
you're
on top of it.
So did you have no beers over the weekend?
I had a couple of vodkas.
Can I
I
stick up for him?
Yeah.
He told me that he left a scenario that was about to turn into a scene.
Absolute scenes.
Absolute scenes that he knows went for a while. He left the building knowing what was about to happen, and I've got to commend him for that.
Well done.
And I'm very active. I was very active on the Sunday morning because I get paranoid about him.
Yeah, well,
I
hey,
stay home in case Braith messages before 9 o'clock.
Accountability.
I have had 1 or 2 late nights. I set an alarm just to make sure I get 2 messages in, just so there's no radio silence.
Anyway, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's rip in the preview. I want to make, you know what, we're going to give more credit to our man because he tipped the big roughies at $8 and they're in the $6 now.
Nice.
They're
go,
making
Bronx.
progress.
And who is that? So people
The Brisbane
know?
Broncos.
Okay, thank
He's
you.
big roughies for the year. All right, we move into game 1. Melbourne Storm down in Melbourne, $1.50. Canterbury Bulldogs, $2.60. There's obviously a lot of changes in the lineup for Melbourne.
Well, you know, I expect a few late changes to Melbourne. I'm not going to say where, but I do expect a few late changes. I think the one that I will mention is Howarth will move back into the centres and Chan will drop off, which is big. Chan in defence in the centres is a liability. I like Chan as a player, but I don't see him as a centre.
Strong with the ball, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In defence, though, he's a major concern with speed.
Is he a centre?
No, he's not. I think he's a back rower.
Yeah, right, okay.
And you know, Howarth was supposedly a back
too.
rower, but he has been enormous in the
he's been
centres,
great.
and he's nailed it now. You know, he's been there all year. So that's a big in. They could have played Howarth last week, I heard, and they didn't, which I thought they got wrong. But you know, so if with a few late change, Melbourne are going to be so hard to beat with Harry Grant back in the team. You know, Cameron, you know, Munster, he loves the big games and he thrives under the bright lights. So they're going to be so hard to beat. Now, I'm gonna go against what I think with my head this week, and I'm going to go with my heart. And knowing the Bulldogs and knowing that history they've got and the culture they've set, I just feel like they're gonna really turn up this week, and it's going to be just war.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to. With no confidence whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm taking up Reni's line. I think they can win this if they just get into the trenches and they just put everything on the line.
Yeah, well, they did it in 2014. Went down there in the first semi-final and beat them, and they do have a blueprint to beat Melbourne. You know, a few weeks ago, I said statistically across the park they were better than the Storm. The completion rate wasn't as good. They got 2 tries that they dropped over the line, or 2. You know, no tries. I think if they can go down there with that confidence, you know what it's like, Braith. You play a full season, all of a sudden you go into a semi-final, you're bouncing into training, all the injuries go out the window, all those little niggles don't hurt as much. It's a new competition. I look at that Melbourne side and it scares the shit out of me, but I truly believe Carraz is a massive loss for me. It's another bit of go forward that we're missing, but
he's back in.
Carraz is back.
He's back in.
No, you've got the Fijian kid and Blake
It's
Wilson
there,
on
but
the
he's
wing.
he's named.
He's on the extended?
He's on the
Oh, there
extended.
you go.
So
There you go. Well, that gives me
Did
a
they
little...
name
I think
Montoya?
No, Montoya's out.
Who have they got in the wing right now?
They've got
They've
Wilson
got
and...
Jethro and
Yeah,
Wilson.
no, I'm expecting him to play.
Okay. Again,
I think there's going to be
great.
some late changes to both teams.
Yeah.
and I'm going to go with my heart, and I'm going to stick with my doggies.
You boys, I am going with Melbourne, and I think it could be a cricket score. I think you will see class. It looked like an 18.
We've been
and a
waiting
B
for
team.
that all year.
But you know what it is, and I know you're not naming it. There's been speculation because obviously you manage him. But Jonah Pez, I think the biggest difference will be Jonah is a genuine 7, and I think with him controlling the game, it frees up Munster to play the running game and just play. Munster's probably the best second fiddle in the game.
Yeah, because you're getting two running halves if you put Wishart at 7, right?
He's just not a Wishart's
He's
a
not an
14.
organiser. He's not a kicker.
He's not a 7.
Okay.
You know, I've been, again, it's hard for me to comment on this, but I think Jonah is the better pick if they do go with him.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
He squares the defence up so good. He's
And
got
his
a great
kicking
kicking
game's
game.
beautiful.
And Cameron loves playing with him. You know, that's a bit of inside info. Like he loves playing because Cameron then gets quality ball. He isolates Cameron and gives him time and space where Wishart doesn't. But Wishart's a great runner and he's dummy and go and he does come up with a big play nearly every game, Wishart. But it's just that one play. You know, he's kind of the kicking game and building pressure on oppositions and you know, like isolating defenders, that's not something Wishart's going to do.
True.
Yeah.
True. I see that siege mentality, that back against the wall, kind of like what we thrived off, Braith. You know, backs against the wall, everyone against us. I can see the Dogs going down there and getting the win.
Going with the heart. I'm going Dogs.
Going with my Bulldogs tag.
Yeah, mine too.
There.
It's there somewhere.
Yeah, they'll get pumped. All right, we go over to NZ. $3.30 against Penrith Panthers, $1.33.
Okay, I think the Warriors have been they're underestimated. You know, like even on the weekend, who'd they play on the weekend? I've lost it already.
Warriors played
Manly. Okay, even playing Manly, who were DC's last game. Tom Trbojevic in fine form at 4 points. They still fought to the death and nearly won the game. So that tells me at home with the fans they've got, the amazing fans they've got at home. Yeah, they're playing the heavyweights, but they're going to fight and they're going to fight till the death. I don't see it being a hammering. You know, I don't see it. You know, yes, it's going to be hard for them to win. Yes, the class of Cleary and the likes, you know, are favourites, should be favourites and should win. But I just see. You know, I'd see this being played out a lot different to what people think. I don't see Penrith being $1.33. Yep. I think the odds are generous there to the Warriors at $3.34, as it says. But
so you think the 9.5 start enough for you to take?
I think I don't know.
How confident they are?
I don't know,
man. Just their season was just so derailed by losing Barnett and Metcalf, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they've been fighting. You're right. But Penrith went over there with half a team and beat them during the year.
Forgot about that.
But, you know, again, semi-final footy, you know.
That plays into their hands even more.
Man, I just don't think we give the Warriors enough credit.
That's my point.
About how much they have to fucking travel.
Yeah.
Internationally, through customs. Like the amount of travel these guys have to do. Like, you can't. It's not an excuse, but you can't blame them for being tired. These seasons are fucking long.
Listen, I just to wrap that one, I think Penrith will win, but I think it'll be closer than what most people think.
Yeah, I'm with Braith on that.
So who are you tipping? Penrith.
Yeah,
just tipping.
I did say Penrith will win, yeah.
My head says Penrith, my heart wants the Warriors to win.
All right. We go to Shark Park, $2.10 the Sharks, $1.74 the Chooks. Nico, pressure. I'm actually a little bit happy that he's playing and he wasn't ruled out. I hope I haven't got egg on my face afterwards.
Well, I mean, we're going to have egg on our face every week because we make calls every week. That's the way the cookie crumbles. You know what?
I'm going the Sharkies. As a former Sharky, I'm going the Sharks. Brayley's the key for me. Brayley is the key. And if you look, you get in an arm wrestle or you can put Roosters off their game, you know that they're going to drop the ball as much as they have been throughout the year.
I think
they make them uncomfortable, make them very uncomfortable, and they're a grinding team. They're a very Rooster-like with Fitzy. They're a very Fitzgibbon side. So there are opportunities to make Roosters very uncomfortable.
Yep. No, I agree with all that. They're going to be very hard to beat. The Roosters, the only thing is, you know, I thought the Dogs were poor on the weekend. And, you know, the good thing for Cronulla is they got a lot of confidence out of that win. I don't think it's probably as good a win as what we think because the Dogs were very average. The Roosters, on the other hand, again, they played South. And South, you know, they put up a fight for 40 minutes. But, you know, I look at this side of the Roosters and I compare it to that of the Sharks. And, you know, I think Sam Walker's the best half on the field. And I think James Tedesco is the best player on the field.
Yeah, true.
And James Tedesco last week was brilliant, and he's been fucking so good all year. The development of Toya. Billy Smith has come so far. Love him in the centres. Tupou was back, even though he was back, but he's there. Mark Nwonganitawase, say no more. You go to the pack, Spencer Leniu, Connor Watson, Lindsay Collins, Angus Crichton, Victor Alley, Fahu White. The Roosters are winning this fucking game the more I read this. And I'm getting on them. And Shark Park, it only holds 12 people anyway, so you can take the fans out of it. And, the Apple Crumble Sharks in the final series could crumble again. And I'm riding the Chookies all the way home here, and I get more confident the more I talk.
The other thing I liked about and I know it was South, but we know how challenging those games could be. And at halftime, I kind of went, I hope we don't let him into the game and fumble. And they just
when Marky Mark
relaxed.
dropped that sitter, he come out of the back at yardage and just come out of his hands. I was thinking, this poor bloke. Yeah. He tightens up that game. He tightens up his game a fraction,
Well, he already has, mate.
5%.
He already has.
Just another couple percent. He's on the Australian tour.
Mate, both him and Reece Walsh have just pulled, the last couple of games, they've pulled the error rate back a little bit, and look at them, it's just that little bit of, but that was it. Anyway. Next.
There you go on the Roosters.
Yeah, Roosters.
Yeah, Roosters.
For sure.
All right. Now we go down to Canberra, $1.67. Brisbane Broncos, $2.20.
What a game.
How much toilet water is he drinking this week?
Yeah, you know what? I don't care what he does. He can get his eyebrows waxed. He can paint his fingernails. He can get his fucking asshole bleached for all I care.
He's going there.
I don't care, mate. That kid is a fucking gun. They're my outsiders. I love Canberra. I love you, Stick, but I'm going to go with my Broncos.
You had to get that in. It's like, delivering the I love you, but I'm going the opposition.
Have they been a bit that's like Brisbane have become a more solid team without the two halves. And I love Ran, man.
I think, because we got Reece Walsh jumping in the first receiver. He was doing, he had a try assist from a kick and a few other things out of first receiver. So he's just going, give me the ball. So, that's the advantage of the halves they got at the moment. And Billy's done an amazing job, has done all year off the bench. And Ben, is complimenting him. I'd still bring Reno back when next week. I like the Broncos a lot. I'm gonna go Raiders. Even though they've come first in their minor premiers, even in this game, everyone's leaning towards Broncos and talking the Broncos up. And again, they're just kind of going under the radar, even though they have been the best team all year by a long way. So I'm going to stick to that in Canberra on a Sunday afternoon, and I'm going to back them to win.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to our bets.
All right, this week I'm going to go the Sydney Roosters to cover the line over the Cronulla Sharks. The Roosters have been in great form, and so have the Sharks, but I just think the element of class, creativity will get them over the line with Sam Walker and James Tedesco. And because James Tedesco has been playing so good and is probably the Dally M favourite, I think he'll get a try in the process. So that is my pick.
My Unibet special this week, I'm going to go against Braith. I'm going to go the Sharks. And I'm going to go Iro to score any time.
There's 3 other games you're not. You couldn't have done 3 other games.
I said that was the one I was going to do.
That's all right. That's all right.
Sorry.
I'm going Melbourne. I'm going Melbourne Storm. I think Jonah Pezzett will start it.
Hang on.
What?
Podcast is over,
Well,
man.
I told you I was going the Sharks, and then you fucking went the Roosters.
he did say that, actually.
So you fucking pick your
Well, I
own
went
cunt.
first.
Keep all this in.
Yeah, all right. I'm going Melbourne Storm. I think Jonah Pezzett will start at 7. I think you'll see the chemistry of a true 7 and a true 6, and they will absolutely dominate the Dogs, and I've got Coates anytime try scorer.
Beautiful. And you're off the piss. That's good.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.